Knowledge Adventure. Have fun. Get smart.
Rocky54167 here, and we're with the Packard Bell CD collection box. Today you should know which game we're going to be reviewing. It was the second computer game I ever played. It was probably the most popular of the Adventure series game. It is a sequel to an Adventure series game, which the original one was the best-selling one. This game was the second computer game I ever played. It took the most parts to upload back in 2009. I think it was either 5 or 6. And it has had the most requested parts on YouTube. And in today's Knowledge Adventure Company, there is a game with almost the same title as it, but different, with a 3D at the end of it, with a completely different storyline. This game was remade twice for Windows, in a regular game and an anniversary edition. This game needs no introduction. 3D Dinosaur Adventure. I had the anniversary edition of the remake, and I had the 1999 Knowledge Adventure, Dinosaur Adventure 3D. This game right here was this and Dinosaur Adventure probably the most popular of the Adventure series of games. And this one, out of all of them, had the best graphics. I mean, like I was saying about some of these games have had great graphics, which I think were better than Donkey Kong Country's the year they came out. But you just look at this game and it tops the cake. Yeah, the graphics kind of fall apart in the Save the Dinosaurs, but when you go through the park and you look at some of the dinosaurs today, I think the graphics still hold up. So let's dive in to 3D Dinosaur Adventure. Okay, like I said, 3D Dinosaur Adventure was a sequel to an earlier Knowledge Adventure game that was released around the same time as Space Adventure. And to my knowledge, this was the first Knowledge Adventure game to have more than just a reference screen, and probably why it appealed more than Knowledge Adventure did. Dinosaur Adventure, the game which you are looking at the screen currently at. I own a beta version of this game that I got on a abandonware site, and I just found the game for a good price on CD, and if everything clears out, I'll probably be purchasing that copy soon. But anyways, down to the thing. This game was revolutionary in the Adventure series because it was the first that didn't have a reference center, to my knowledge, at the moment. I don't want to be criticized if if Science Adventure had it beforehand, but the Science Adventure game I saw from Surfer BRG's video only had a reference screen. This game starts off with a movie that would be used in Kids Zoo and Undersea Adventure design. And in the beta version, it only has 5 movies, which is why I call it a beta version, because I think there was a couple other movies. It does have a reference center styled like Space Adventures, but there is actual activities to do in it. Now, 3D Dinosaur Adventure, I call the sequel, is because I'll explain when the review gets more ongoing, but I'm going to do a video that compares all 3 of the Dinosaur Adventure games. The original Dinosaur Adventure, the original 3D Dinosaur Adventure, and the anniversary 3D Dinosaur Adventure. Let's get the review on the road. Alright, just a note that from now on, until I'm done reviewing these games at the end of Undersea Adventure, they will always have I'll always go through Windows, because that's the way I did it as a kid. I only did going through DOS for Kids Zoo to show what it looked like when I ran the games through Windows 98 and Windows 95. I don't know why they look different, but here we are right now going into the Windows 3.11 for workgroups. Kind of got messed up here. Forgot what exactly I was supposed to type. It blue screen to death. I don't know why it keeps on showing up, but Windows 3.11 works fine. Says the audio driver ain't working, but we got an audio driver running thanks to some driver disks I had for Windows 3.11. And the navigator pops up. Welcome to the main menu. Now, there's a Knowledge Adventure folder. There's all the games all together, all that I installed. Now, the remake of 3D Dinosaur Adventure, if I could point out real quickly, had a very similar icon, but it was a cartoon. Undersea Adventure had the same icon. And this is 3D Dinosaur Adventure is the only game out of the 6 Adventure series games that is in the Packard Bell folder and not the Multimedia Applications folder. I also have the 1994 Sports Illustrated Almanac, but I don't know where the Mega Race CD is. Start up, KA Interactive Book Engine, which this game really is an interactive book. Now, the intro for 3D Dinosaur Adventure I thought was the coolest. But right now, just listen to those dinosaurs growling at you.
To 3D
And the narrator comes in and welcomes you to
Adventure.
the game. You really
Get
feel like you're on
ready.
an adventure.
Put your 3D glasses on.
Now, this opening movie when I was a kid, I don't know why, it just used to freak the heck out of me. I don't know what it was, but it just... Originally, like I said, I only had music with these games. There was no sound, so I thought there was ghost text. And just for some reason, I used to have nightmares that this thing would be chasing me in my sleep. I'd be in the museum and I'd be running from it. Or I'd be in the reference center and I couldn't turn away from it. But it's a pretty cool opening movie, and I think, though, the opening movie misleads a lot on the game. In the remake, just to point out a couple of differences, the opening movie would end and the narrator would tell you where you could wear the 3D glasses at again. And if you're wondering why the opening movie isn't up to speed, it's because the new DOSBox doesn't rotate on what 0.3 and 0.73 and 0.72 did. So it might be a bit faster, but I do have it up. Now, I also think one complaint already is the opening movie, I think, kind of leads you into a false sense because you think the entire game's going to be mostly 3D, like 3D Body Adventure, when most reality that's the only 3D movie. I don't know if that's because of...
Welcome to Dinosaur Adventure.
he's telling you click wherever you want to
3D,
go for the adventure.
To take your virtual
Now,
reality
I
tour
don't
through the
know
park,
if that's because
click on the
of
doorway.
disk space,
If
and
you
I
want
don't know
to
if
go
that's different in
directly
any
to
other version of
activity,
3D
just
Dinosaur
click on
Adventure,
one
but
of the
in my
buttons
Packard
at
Bell
the top
version
of the
and the
screen.
Windows Remake, that was the only movie in 3D. Now, unlike any of the other games, this game is heavily based on zoomscape, so you can take shortcuts to areas or you can click on them and it'll take you through the three-dimensional park. Here's the park guide. You've got 5 areas in three-dimensional that you can explore. I'm showing you the directions of it. This game is definitely the longest out of all of them, but yet takes up smaller space on the disc than 3D Body Adventure does. 3D Body Adventure, my disc, I read it was about 600 and something megabytes, and this disc's only 400 something megabytes. But right there's the 3D Dinosaur Museum, and you got 4 areas to explore that, and it's really cool. I posted the large screen and the small screen version of this. It was a request by the user who closed their account, Tim Tam Term. Which if you ever do come back to YouTube, please let me know. The Triassic Tour, which is pretty cool, which is basically a desert, and it shows Dimetrodon, and it's got the 3D dinosaur and the glasses. This is the only game that had an actual help option to help you explore the park, mainly because this game is so large compared to the other ones. Jurassic Jungle's got the most activities in it, the movie theater, and you can explore that one a bit more than you can the other ones. Now, the Cretaceous corner has 2 activities like Jurassic, and it's also got the comet that supposedly killed the dinosaurs, and you can also save the dinosaurs. The first area, which actually is the only other knowledge adventure game I had that you have 2 exits to it, is the opening center. Now, if you guys have ever played Dinosaur Adventure 3D, I think somewhat the island from that game was based on the park in this game, and I'll get into that later. Now, the first activity we're going to is the reference
How
center.
well do you know
learn
your
more about
dinosaur
dinosaurs.
facts?
I've always thought it was cool how you could go through this, and you could tell that these were just first pre-rendered 16-bit 3D. But I mean, I think the graphics right here just hold up, especially the globe. I mean, you know how hard and long it must have been to make this game. The classic please wait sign. And here we are in the reference center, and like all the games, this one starts with the specific
Dinosaurs roamed the Earth. Looking down on Earth from
page,
space,
and it basically
200
explains to you
million
what
years
dinosaurs
ago, you
was.
would have
I'll
seen
let the
a
guy
very different
narrate.
world.
He was one of the
Instead
narrators in
familiar
this game, and I
continents,
think
you
it's
would
really
see
cool
one
because
supercontinent called
it like
Pangea,
explains the time
and one gigantic
periods
ocean.
and everything else.
And on the Earth
I
would
can
be
say the
large
reference center
ferns
in
and
this game
conifer
is very
trees,
similar to the
many
reference
that would
center
be
in
strange to us
Speed,
today.
or one of the reference
Most
centers in
impressive, though,
Speed,
would be the
and Undersea
dinosaurs.
Adventure.
While
I
some of
keep
these
on forgetting
reptiles,
Speed is 2
whose name
reference
means
centers.
terrible lizard,
Now
were as
this,
small as a
now the only
chicken.
difference
Others were
between the
taller than a
Speed and the
3-story
Undersea
building.
Adventures, you cannot, when you click
These
on the
great
globe, you
creatures
cannot go
appeared
out
on
into
Earth
space
about
like you can in Speed and
225 million
and
years
Undersea
ago,
Adventure,
and ruled
which
until
were
about
both
65
from
million
Space
years
Adventure.
ago.
However, while
The
this
first
game
part of their
focuses
reign
primarily
was
on
during the
dinosaurs,
Triassic
it
period.
includes a lot of
During
prehistoric
that time,
creatures.
all the Earth's land
It goes
was in
back to
one
the Big
continent,
Bang,
so the
and it goes
dinosaurs
all the
could
way up
spread
to a
freely
library and
across the
fossils.
Earth.
So this game covers a
Also,
lot.
the weather
from
was
about,
warm,
the start of the
swamps covered
universe
much
up
of the
until
land.
1993.
During the next period, the Jurassic, the weather remained warm
It's
and
got
plants and animals increased rapidly.
7
But the
buttons
continents
of
had
which you can
begun to drift apart.
choose from, or you can
The
go through the
Cretaceous period
timeline,
marked the end of the
which I
dinosaurs.
show in about a
The
minute,
continents
which
drifted further apart.
you can go
and the
through
Earth's
years,
climate became
height,
more varied.
ton, and you can also click on stuff on the screen. You can zoom the pictures, which don't ask me why, but when I started recording this, they were uber sensitive on my laptop. So they go up once and they come back to regular screen, which I finally fixed that. Now, 3D Dinosaur Adventure and Undersea Adventure, like right there is what I was just talking about, shares the most music in common. I don't know why that is, but it also shares some music with Space Adventure, like the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You can get the globe in full screen like you can Undersea Adventure. The Tyrannosaurus Rex growling movie, that music originally started in Space Adventure. But we're going to go with the sauropods, and we're going to...
Packard, South American sauropod.
Sorry, my screen's blurry at the moment, but the guy who's narrating this, he also, if memory serves correct, was in the remake of 3D Dinosaur Adventure. It's the old guy narrating. Well, he kind of sounds old to me. He's got the different voice.
From the Patagonia region of Argentina, where it was found. Patagosaurus, minus its skull, was found in rocks about
Seems to me that the 3D Dinosaur Adventure remake, just pointing out, had the least amount of differences, whereas the Undersea Adventure one had the most amount, and the music was, and only one theme changed in the reference center. And in the original MS-DOS version of 3D Dinosaur Adventure, the music stays on one page and that's about it, but the music can change in the remake a lot. Right here I wanted to point out the music sharing, and I got messed up and I eventually decided to just type it in the text. But I was going over to the China, Mongolia area.
Homalocephale, the flat-headed dinosaur.
Although it
Hold on,
Andrew's
I think about
Dinosaur
one after
Treasure
this. It was after
Roy
this one when I
Chapman's
finally said I
Andrews
probably should
went to
just get
Mongolia
that,
in 19
just type it in.
Troodontids,
Yeah, here's where I think I finally just said I'll
bird-like
type it in.
dinosaurs.
Yep, here we go. Now right here, this is the edited
Tarbosaurus,
version of the
little
Killer Whale movie
Tyrannosaurus.
music from
13
Undersea Adventure. It
Tarbosaurus
was also used in
skeletons have been found in
the
Mongolia.
beginning of the universe in Undersea Adventure or something like
reptile, as
that.
its
It didn't
name
really
means,
touch on it like
was
these
first
games did,
discovered in
but tells it
1955 in the
Tarbosaurus.
Nemec
Now, if I
Basin in
remember
that
reading
country.
correctly somewhere,
The
I think
bones
a
are so much
Tarbosaurus
like
is
those
now
of
just a regular Tyrannosaurus.
that many experts
It is
think it was
discovered about
essentially the same animal.
13 skeletons
However,
of them,
the
but I just wanted to point out the
Tarbosaurus
music
skeletons are
sharing
somewhat
here.
smaller than
This was
those
used
of
again in Undersea
Tyrannosaurus.
Adventure, and if you know
And
any
there
of the
are some
other
small differences in
Knowledge
the
Adventure
skull.
games this was used in, please let me know. Alright, there we go. Good close-up picture. Alright, I waited on this because I wanted the music to play. And now we're going all the way to the latest
Library,
date, which is
bibliography,
1993
museums.
AD.
Welcome
The library,
to the
which,
Dinosaur Adventure Library.
if you remember Space Adventure, this
You can
same
use the
library
card
was
catalog
used in
the
Space
library
Adventure,
picture
but
to find any topic you wish.
was
Just
zoomed
click
out
on
a
the
bit
card
more.
catalog
If you
drawer
click X, it'll
containing the
take you back
topic
to
you
the
want to
main
find.
menu on this.
Then click on the topic itself. Dinosaur Adventure will take you right to a screen on that topic. To learn more about dinosaurs,
You know, in this game,
check
it
the
actually
list of
really is,
dinosaur books and
if
museums
you wanted to
below.
see every page in here, it's better to go by the time line. And there we go, the singular Big Bang, that
Most
image being used in
scientists
Space
believe the
Adventure.
universe began
Now, I don't know
from
why,
a
but 3D
singularity,
Dinosaur Adventure had
an
some of
impossible
the
to imagine
weirdest and
point,
most disturbed
so
music in
small
all the
that it had
series.
no size at all.
I mean, you listen to the music in
Then
these
that
parts,
point,
it's like
which they
trying to
think
give
contained
like
everything that there is in the universe,
creepiness or
matter,
disturbingness, but
energy,
it just
and even time and
sounds
space,
weird. And
exploded
it does the
with an
same thing
enormous
too
rush.
with the beginning.
Scientists don't know what caused this point to explode in a big bang about 15 billion years ago, and they don't know what, if anything, existed before the bang occurred, or even if there was a before it happened. So-called black holes are believed to be similar to this singularity, except that they contain far less of the universe. Black holes are believed to be collapsed stars of such density and gravitational strength that once caught, nothing, not even light, can escape their pull. Scientists believe that as the Big Bang, heavy elements created. Scientists believe that as the universe, life. How did it happen?
Here you can see an outline of the history of the universe. In the sky are galaxies and the comets, planets and moons that formed in the solar system, plus of course the sun, on which all life depends. In the ocean at the far left are the molecules that make up life.
Now right here, Dinosuchus, big as a dinosaur. Here's an example
Big as a dinosaur.
of what I liked about this in the
The first
original
primitive
Dinosaur Adventure,
crocodile
of a reptile that
appeared on
lived
the
during
Earth
the same time as the
230 million years
dinosaurs,
ago,
but
during
not
the
a
mid-Triassic
dinosaur.
period.
Now this
About the
evolved
same
into a
time the first dinosaur
modern-day
appeared.
crocodile. And this is
Interestingly,
the first
both dinosaurs
photo
and
or
crocodiles are from the same
painting
group
in the
of
game that we've
reptiles,
gotten to that's in
known as
3D.
archosaurs,
Now, if you recall,
or
everything in
ruling
3D
reptiles.
Body Adventure was 3D.
But somehow,
Now,
crocodiles
the
survived,
comment I made
while
earlier
dinosaurs
about the
did
game
not.
being falsely in 3D, I've always
Originally,
wondered
many
if the title
crocodiles
just meant
probably
that
spent their time on
the
land,
3D
hunting for
imaging or
insects small
whatnot, but
animals.
the game isn't as heavily
Over time, however,
3D
became
effect
the
based as what 3D Body
semi-aquatic animal we
Adventure
know
was.
today.
How every movie was in 3D.
One ancient
But no,
crocodile,
this painting's in
named
3D and it's pretty
Dinosuchus, however,
cool.
was quite unique.
Or like right there is speech bubble that'll lead you to something else.
turtle.
Apparently I didn't click on the
A real
3D for the Dinosuchus.
If you were to
but
go back 200
Turtle, a real
million
survivor,
years,
which is still around today. Now we go to Carnivore, and one of the movies, Dinosuchus,
Deinonychus.
small but deadly.
Small but deadly.
Now you see, the one thing I loved about the original MS-DOS version was I loved the dinosaur growls. Mainly because probably this was the first one I played, but I didn't like the growls in the
Deinonychus
Windows
was
Remake,
not very
nor
large,
the
but it certainly was deadly.
upgrade from 16-bit
Some
music to
think that
32-bit.
Deinonychus
I thought
was
it
one
kind
of the
of
most
took the
ferocious
classicness out of the
dinosaurs
game.
ever. And that
But
is
you know,
easy
like
to
on the
believe
Super
after seeing
Nintendo,
this
you couldn't
movie.
get speech.
Measuring only
But here
7
you're
to
getting
10
full
feet
text
long,
speech about
these small
dinosaurs. We're gonna view another movie. Now, not all of the movies from the movie theater were in the reference center. About only half of them were in there.
Dimetrodon. Shark
Here's
teeth.
Dimetrodon, another reptile that lived during the same period as the dinosaurs, but was not a dinosaur. Actually, I take that back. I think this lived at the very beginning of dinosaurs, or the dinosaur era. But this thing right here, it's a Dynamation robot, and that's where a lot of the reference center movies were Dynamation. And some of them were from the Claymation, but most of them were Dynamation. I'll explain about the
You can
Claymation
see in this
movies later. Here we go.
Dimetrodon.
I always liked the 16-bit
Sailor or
remake of
solar.
Sailing. I think that was the name of the song. It was a tune I knew as a kid. Now here's the first three-dimensional picture we go to. If you have your 3D glasses, that's cool. And it really does make the two Dimetrodons that are standing there in the front of the screen jump out. But now we're going to go to Herbivore. You know, right here is a theme that was in Undersea Adventure 2. This was the Stingray
This
theme, the
mammal-like
second movie in the
reptile called-
Undersea Adventure. It was also used in other places, but like I said earlier with the other music, if this was used in another Knowledge Adventure game that I don't have, let me know. Now, there's going to be some pausing. I don't know when, but I wanted to find specifically a page they had on here of music that was in Undersea Adventure. Go back to the herbivores and the Plesiosaurus, one of the first sauropods. And, you know, one thing I like about this game, it goes in depth, but at the same time, it doesn't go into depth, keeping kids interested. Go back to family lifestyle. Hips make the dinosaur.
One of the main ways of
Two combined pictures from the storybook.
Coelurosaurs. The Coelurosaur. Making tracks in Texas.
That's just
Dinosaur
showing tracks in Texas.
How to make a fossil.
How to make a fossil. I mean, this game was very explanative, which is pretty cool. And here's the one thing: was Earth made in 4004 BC? That is the general accepted date of when the Earth was made.
The little plan,
The
of life.
little plan of life. The DNA, when DNA was discovered. And here's when a robot dinosaur flew, the Quetzalcoatlus, a guy by the name of Paul McCready, which when the movie's over with, I'll point out. I also play the movie theater version of this too. This song that they're playing right now was one of my favorite songs as a kid in here. And they redid it in a similar style. There's Paul McCready, the guy who did it, in the remake. And I didn't like
Dinosaurs.
the
From
remake
lab
movie
to
style of it.
museum.
But
Once a
here's
dinosaur.
the theme right here from the remake that was played in the ending credits when they properly had them at the end. Right there, doesn't it look like that? What Dimetrodon has that its eye's still there? It used to be kind of freaky when I was a kid, and the music was depressing because you knew all the dinosaurs were dead. Now right here, I felt the need to point it out. This is another one of my favorite themes that was in the remake of this game, but it wasn't in the remake of Undersea Adventure. This was also played in Undersea Adventure and the Blue Shark page and a couple of other pages in Undersea Adventure. If you guys haven't already guessed, 3D Dinosaur Adventure and Undersea Adventure are both my favorite knowledge adventure games. I let him read the text because I wanted to play the music to point it out. Come back to the reference center a bit later. Maybe I find it after this.
Eyes meant it must have been good at judging distances. So it may have
been
I know
I posted the 3D Dinosaur Adventure version of the theme and the Undersea Adventure version of the theme.
Some scientists think it may have been a young Tyrannosaurus.
I like how it also gives where it shows where each dinosaur's fossils were found at, where they believed to live at. It also gives the classification of it. Right here, I was looking up on YouTube what the name of that thing was because I wanted to compare this next theme. So give it a second or two. Also, I'm going to try and keep this in one part compared to the 5 parts when I originally uploaded this because my YouTube account can upload. I found out a 45-minute video. Let's see if it can upload about a 50-minute video with all the videos I have. Right there, here's the one I wanted to point out. This was the Mora Eel theme in Undersea Adventure. This was like a creepy tune, but a cool creepy tune, if you know what I mean. It was like, unlike the Big Bang music when you were a kid.
It had long,
but right here,
legs,
I thought this was pretty cool.
And simple teeth that it may have used to eat fruits and perhaps insects.
I like the pointer in 3D Dinosaur Adventure that it was the same one used in Space Adventure and the same one from the original Dinosaur Adventure. I think that shows a continuity between Dinosaur Adventure and 3D Dinosaur Adventure. Alright, the next game, the Dinosaur Safari, which will take us into the Jurassic Jungle. Now, I don't think I've honestly ever gotten this at the right speed on DOSBox, which is why someday I'm hoping I can find a good emulator to do it, because the emulators can get this speed fine. When I mean emulator, I mean PC emulator. Here we go right off the bat, the Safari. So the 3D in this game, even though you can tell it's early 3D,
that was a close relative of Tyrannosaurus rex and loved to eat other dinosaurs for dinner. You're right. You found the Albertosaurus. He lived at the same time as Tyrannosaurus rex, but was a little bit smaller. Click on the giant dinosaur that ate plants and was once called Brontosaurus.
It'll give you a clue of what the dinosaur is, and you have to click on which dinosaur it is. Like this one was the Apatosaurus, the large,
click on the dinosaur whose mouth was shaped like a duck's
plant-eating
bill
dinosaur.
and lived in
He'll just give you a
herds
description of the
Cretaceous
dinosaur or a reptile, and you have to guess it. Now this is also uploaded too. As I said, with the rest of this game is all uploaded on YouTube.
You're right.
The first request, which was requested by PowerPup97, was to save the dinosaurs. That was my first video, specific game video I uploaded. I uploaded this right here back in 2009, probably before the Reference Center movies. I know I split it in two parts.
You found Compsognathus.
I think that dinosaur right there was a small one. It was only the size of a chicken.
Click on the dinosaur that had a mouth like a crocodile's and may have caught fish the same way bears do. You're right. You found the Baryonyx. It was 20 feet long and had giant curved claws. Click on the meat-eating dinosaur that had a massive skull and a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth. Keep looking. The Dilophosaurus was a 20-foot-long... You're right. Allosaurus lived in the Jurassic period and probably hunted large plant eaters like Diplodocus.
Alright, we're going to do a couple more. Once we
Click
get
on the
update, then
dinosaur
we're
that
going
was covered
to
with thick armor
go back to the main
plating and used
menu
its
to
bony tail as a
go
club
to another
hit attacking
activity, including the
dinosaurs.
review.
You're right. You found the Ankylosaurus. It weighed 4 tons and had armor plating on its eyelids. Click on the ancient reptile that may have given birth to live babies, just like mammals do today. You're right. You found the Ichthyosaurus. A fossil of this marine
Right, now-
reptile was discovered
I'm
with a
gonna
small
answer one more.
fossilized baby
I believe
Ichthyosaurus
this one was the
inside.
Ichthyosaurus.
Click on...
Don't remember. But now we're returning to the main menu, and we're going to go to where the
3D
icon for this game
Dinosaur
comes
Museum.
from, the 3D Dinosaur Museum. The first one in the Triassic Jungle, and if I can point out, if you had the remake, the Windows version, you'll notice the icon was dark and the dinosaur was green, but with the 3D glasses more cartoonish. You also had the Anniversary Edition, like me, you got a game called Artosaurus, which included a lot of the original music, but in 32-bit form. Like I said, when you go by some of these dinosaurs, you can tell the pixelation, you can tell it's really 3D, but I think out of all these games, I think the graphics in this one held up the best. Here we go, we're going to go in the blue eye. This is also where you can see the opening movie in 3D again. Now, this is when I was recording the review when the game started to mess up a bit, so I didn't really go too keen on getting a lot of shots of the museum, but it definitely is up the large screen version, which is this right now, the small screen version. I think I just got this shot right here, and then I just went to around the entire museum back to the thing. But right there, in this zoomscape activity, this is one of the there's 3 zoomscape activities in this game. This is the only one out of all 6 of them that you can't use the escape to go back to the main menu. You have to click the button, because the button's not in the other ones, and you also can't click the exit sign to get back to the main menu. I've never understood why, but the museum, I actually like the way how the museum is held up. I mean, if you still have your 3D glasses, then this part of the game must be real awesome. We're going to enter the theater, but like I said, I have this already posted, and you can see the movie in both large screen right now and small screen. Alright, now it's time to go on to the Dinosaur Storybook, which is also posted in the last Triassic activity. Alright, so now the Dinosaur Storybook starts off really simple.
Lived on the earth.
I think this and Kid Zoo are the only 2 games that have a storybook in it as of my memory right now. But if you click on any of the dinosaurs in the picture, it will tell you what they are, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like the Kid Zoo book, except I think with a bit cooler music.
There were big ones. Apatosaurus. Pteranodon.
Oh, it's too bad this couldn't have been 3D. I mean,
Dinosaur
you know how cool that would have been?
There were wet ones.
Now right here, I wanted to point out, right here is the music from the Undersea Adventure movie theater screen, and it originally originated from Space Adventure. And now we're heading back to the main menu. I have the full storybook up already, but let's go to the place where it proves that this is a sequel to Dinosaur Adventure. Now maybe early on in this game's history why there isn't as much 3D effects as what 3D Body Adventure has is that maybe this was originally supposed to just be Dinosaur Adventure 2. When we're taking a trip to the Jurassic Jungle, and here I'll show you. It goes fast at first, but I thought it was going too fast, and I made the mistake of slowing it down. So the music does go a bit faster. Maybe someday DOSBox will correct all this, but right there, if you see it, it says Dinosaur Adventure 2, meaning there's an error that, it's either an error or it's not an error that Knowledge Adventure left in. And right there's 2 exits, but when you go in and explore the park to the Zoomscape mode, neither one of those exits you can click on will not work for some weird reason. I'll explain that when we get to it. But here we go. We're in the movie theater now. Where the mouse is right at, that's a claymation movie. That was, the claymation movies from this movie theater were originally from a special called Dinosaur. And the first movie we're going to is Allosaurus. I always thought this movie had a cool theme, and this video right here is in the reference center and was originally in Dinosaur Adventure, as so as a couple of these movies were. Now this one wasn't in the reference center, but I always liked this one better than the Allosaurus Growl one. Better than the regular Allosaurus movie. Well, like I was saying earlier, this is one of my favorite songs in the entire game. I didn't like the way how they redid it in the remake in 1996. By the way, all these movies are posted. Well, here was one of my favorite movies as a kid. I never understood why. Maybe it was because I liked Littlefoot from The Land Before Time while growing up. And I never got what that purple blur was. Maybe someday I'll be able to talk with the creator of the game who got all this footage, but I want to know so bad what that purple blur is. But all these Dynamation dinosaurs, I think they're in California now, I'm not sure, but there's an actual homepage for it. Now right here's one of the claymation movies I wanted to show, and I know the speed's a bit faster than the actual video music for the video. Right here is where it goes a bit quicker. And now I'm going to click on the Death of the Dinosaurs movie. I didn't show this in the original sample video, but I think I got the speed for this video just right. This is another one, claymation movie from the movie Dinosaur, which was created by Phil Tippett. And for those of you who don't know who Phil Tippett is, he's the guy who created the special effects for Star Wars. And he had been pondering around with this dinosaur idea for the longest time. I have no clue if the complete dinosaur thing is still up on YouTube, but it connects all these movies, and it's pretty cool actually. I'd have to see if that channel's still up, but the music playing right here is the full version of the Killer Whale music from Undersea Adventure. And this movie, used for this movie, it was so fitting because it's so dark. And one of the more depressing scenes from 3D Dinosaur Adventure. I mean, this, instead of being scary, this next scene that's coming up is just depressing. When you see where the hadrosaurs had built their nest. And you actually do see a bunch of dead dinosaur, or a dead dinosaur. And imagine if this is the way the dinosaurs died, this is probably what it was like back 65 million years ago. Or that was just always depressing as a kid. But that had to be some of the easiest shots when this was originally made back in 1986. And right there's the mother who survived looking at all the dinosaur eggs. This was always a sad movie. Alright, and then, now that we're done with the Death of the Dinosaur movie, I posted all these movies back in February of 2009. You can watch all of them, even though the music ain't right, which I've been debating about reposting every single thing. Because DOSBox 0.72 didn't emulate music correctly like DOSBox 0.73 or 74. But now we're going into the Jurassic Jungle. And man, it's just wow when I look at these graphics. I mean, I still think they held up the best in this game. But the thing we're going to review now is Cretaceous. Please wait. I always love that.
No one knows exactly what
narrator tells you
dinosaurs
that we
and
don't know what
prehistoric
dinosaurs
reptiles
look
look like.
And you basically
So why don't you create
choose
your
from
own?
about 1, 2,
Look,
3,
Ma,
4,
no
5,
internal
6, 7,
organs.
8, 9, 10. 10 dinosaurs and 10 different themes. Dinosaurs say something different each time you click on the theme, and it's because of this why a lot of my viewers thought when I first posted, I think it was 3 parts for Cretaceous. They they originally thought that Homer Simpson did the voice, but
you really
let me
know
tell
how
you
to make a
something.
dinosaur
Even though the
feel
original
special.
Dinosaur Adventure was a hit, I don't think
Yeah,
Knowledge
what's the
Adventure
price of
became as
gold these
popular
days?
as what it
I
did
may
until
really
it
be
created
worth something.
Jumpstart, which I had some Jumpstart
Oh,
games
wow!
as a kid.
What would Dilophosaurus say about me now?
Hey,
The
kid,
gold
you
one
got the
seemed to be the
Midas
very
touch.
popular one among the dinosaurs, I guess. Some had smart aleckly remarks like the Velociraptor, which were kind of cool.
I can't believe it.
And the T-Rex I thought was the best. I thought you were going to
Wait
vaporize
a
it
second.
or something
Is
like
this
that
some
on
kind
the
of weird
keyboard.
computer trick?
When in
I
all
mean,
reality,
are you
you
going to
didn't
push
have
some button on that keyboard of
the
yours and
ability
make
to
me
do that
disappear?
unless you hacked the
Please,
game,
don't,
which
don't go near that
I
keyboard.
don't know
No,
if many of you did
no,
back in the day,
please.
but I wonder what it'd be like if there was a hacked version of this out there.
How would you feel if I dressed you up like a tablecloth?
Now it's time to head for the last activity in the Triassic.
Do you
'cause we're now
really
done with
know
both
your
Jurassic and
dinosaur names?
Triassic. The Namosaurus. Namosaurus is real simple.
Can you
No, I
find the
told you the name of the
Apatosaurus?
dinosaur, and if you've played around with the game enough, you know which dinosaur is
right.
which. Like,
This
there's
is
the
an
Apatosaurus.
Apatosaurus.
It was in the reference center.
Can you find the Brachiosaurus?
This was one of the activities that was in the original Dinosaur Adventure. Because I haven't
Can
played
you find
Dinosaur
the
Adventure in about
Stegosaurus?
2 years, I don't remember which activities were in it.
You're
But
right.
This
This is a
activity was for
Stegosaurus.
sure in the original Dinosaur Adventure.
Can you
but
find
instead
the
of giving you
Albertosaurus?
pictures, they just
You're right.
They-
This is an
they had you
Albertosaurus.
click on text and they'd give you a small
Can you find
picture.
the Pteranodon? You're right.
Or it was something
This
like
is
that.
a
It's been a
Pteranodon.
while.
Can you find the Maiasaura? You're right. This is a Maiasaura. You're doing great. Can you find the Triceratops? You're right. This is a Triceratops. Can you find the Allosaurus? You're right. This is an Allosaurus. Can you find the Tyrannosaurus Rex? You're right. This is a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, so I think there's about 3 rounds
You
of this game.
really know
and
your dinosaur
I posted
names.
this on YouTube
Are you ready
too.
for
This was
level
probably
2?
one of the last things I
These-
posted from 3D Dinosaur
Can you find-
Adventure. Before I moved on to Speed and Space, but now we're going on to
Can you
one of the more
recognize a
popular
dinosaur when
activities.
you
Who
see
am I?
one?
There's something about the music in this activity I want to point out. And it's one of the tunes from the game that made it to another Knowledge Adventure game that wasn't a part of the Adventure series. Now, because there's only 2 activities in the Cretaceous period, this shows you the entire Cretaceous period in this game. Now, the trees in the Cretaceous period are like the trees from Super Mario 64. You can tell they're 2-dimensional. Well, Undersea Adventure had about
Which reptile is this a
2
part of?
styled games from the Who Am I, except What Do I Eat?
How
The
could
music
you
playing in this
confuse
game
me
right
with
now
that
was
guy?
used in the 1996 version of
Nope.
Jumpstart
Sorry.
Second Grade, which I have the
Wrong
1999
dinosaur.
remake of that.
Oh,
In the fishbowl.
you're right! I'm a
So this music did live on. I do know that
Which
version of
reptile
Jumpstart
is this
Second
a
Grade
part
is
of?
still being made. So,
You're right. I'm a Stegosaurus.
to the game, it's just like the Kid Zoo one.
Which
It gives you
reptile is
a
this a
picture of a
part of?
dinosaur. You're supposed to guess what it is.
You're right. I'm a Brachiosaurus, and that's my thigh. It was filled with a column-like
And then once you
bone
guess
that
all of
helped
them, there's 2
support
rounds of
my
it where an Undersea
enormous
Adventure there's
weight.
only one. Once you get to
Which reptile
once you
is
get
this
through
a
both
part of?
rounds, they play a congratulations movie
You're
as with all
right.
the other ones.
I'm an Allosaurus, and that's my eye. I probably had very good eyesight, so I could spot my prey from great distances.
Which reptile is this a
Now
part
this
of?
picture, I don't know who originally painted it, but I do know that it was in
You're
that
right.
zoo
I am a
article that used to be really
Tyrannosaurus
popular
Rex,
when I
and
was a
those
kid.
are
There
my
was like
teeth.
about 12 magazines of it.
You're doing...
And I always remembered
Which
I wanted to get a
reptile is
copy of it
this
to
a part
compare it
of?
to the game. But it was in
You're
in
right.
I think the dinosaur
I'm a Dimetrodon,
issue
and
of
that's
it.
my sail
Can't think
fin.
of what it was called,
I
but it was a zoo
probably used it to
magazine.
absorb heat from the sun and warm my body. Remember, I was a cold-blooded reptile.
Which reptile is this a part of?
You're right. I'm a Parasaurolophus, and that's my head crest. It measured 6 feet long and was made of a hollow nasal passage. I
Now,
may
the whole
have
in
used it
this
to make a
game,
loud
I do not
trumpet-like
believe
sound.
rotates. Like, changes it
Which
all. You already
reptile
have
is
to
this
click
a
and
part
guess on
of?
that. My
You're
favorite.
right. I'm a
I always
Triceratops,
liked
and that's
hearing
my
that, or
mouth.
when you clicked on the
This
wrong dinosaur, I always
hard,
like hearing
bony
their
beak
responses.
was perfect for
And
breaking
now
up
they seem a
pieces
bit
of tough
cheesy, but I
plants.
think that's what makes this game a classic. Like
Which
the
reptile is
Iguanodon's
this a
response, I
part
always
of?
thought was cool. But now we're heading back to the main menu. We're going to go on to the most
Let's
infamous
play
activity,
Save the
like the
Dinosaurs.
emergency game from 3D Body Adventure. The completely zoomscape game in this one is Save the Dinosaurs. Now I also conclude what happens if you don't save all the dinosaurs in time, which I don't remember if I previously had done. So there we go up to the comet in the sky.
Great!
And this
You
green
made it.
thing from
But there's not
one of the
much time.
congratulations
A comet
movies
is about to hit
tells
the
you that
Earth
you
and
have
make it
about
impossible for
1990
dinosaurs to stay
seconds
alive.
to go
Your mission is to
save
travel
these things.
back in
And I
time
always thought it
and
was
save
ironic that the
15
game started at
dinosaurs from 3 different
1996
time periods
seconds.
before the comet hits. Remember,
So the first place
don't
we have to
go the
head
wrong
is
way,
the Triassic,
and
and
beware
here
of the
in the
giant
game is where
bugs.
some of the 3D
If you need any
graphics
clues,
lack.
click on the help console
Whereas
at
in
each
the park
intersection.
and in the
You'll get extra
museum they
time
had been
for
so
each
good.
dino
Here
saved.
you could tell things
Okay,
are in two-dimensional.
are you ready?
in this
It's time for the
main
first
Zoomscape
mission.
activity.
The first mission
Now,
is
in the
find Coelophysis.
remake, there was music being
Coelophysis
played
was a
in
late
this
Triassic
section of it.
dinosaur
And I know
that
in
was
my
10
edition
feet
of the
tall
remake, it
and
doesn't play music for
601 pounds.
some weird
Remember,
reason anymore.
after Coelophysis, there are
But
14
I was
more
told by Tim
dinosaurs to save.
Tamturn in his
Hurry,
version of the game,
save
it did
Coelophysis.
play music, and he had a full OEM version of the game. And I believe right now that is the only difference between that version and the Packard Bell version of 3D Dinosaur Adventure. So the game, believe it or not, seems pretty simple at first. You gotta find the right exit out of the cave, and if you go into the wrong exit, you
I'm
get
Dromaeosaurus,
a Dromaeosaurus,
a
which
cousin
is
of
probably about
Velociraptor, and
the only
just
good
as
3D
mean.
graphic.
Next time
Like
you
I
better
said,
watch
though,
where
I don't
you
care
go,
about the
because
graphics
I
in the
might
game. It's
just
just the
eat
reason I'm
you.
pointing them out is show how well I think this game is held up now in 2012. Right there is a zoomscape. I was making sure that it was zoomscape. And right here we go into the Triassic period. And I always thought the dinosaur noises they played here were cool compared to the remake, which didn't play any. And here you can tell all the trees are two-dimensional. You can go right through them. And there's the Plesiosaurus. You can go right through that too. I clicked on it to show you what happens. And I think I'm going to upload later in the week what happened, or all the wrong, or when you click on the wrong dinosaur, I'd click all the wrong dinosaur
dinosaurs to
sayings.
come into existence. But I am not the dinosaur you're looking for.
Now there's the Coelophysis.
You did
Now the next one we have to go save is the
Coelophysis has
Tyrannosaurus
been
Rex from the
saved.
Cretaceous period.
Mission 2.
And now here's where it
Save
starts to get
Tyrannosaurus
tricky.
Rex.
There was a trick I
Tyrannosaurus
didn't
Rex
learn
lived
until
in the
I
late
finally beat the
Cretaceous
game.
period. He was one of the last dinosaurs to live.
Right there's a bug. Now let's run into it. Now the game was acting a bit glitchy at this point. Probably because I was running it on a laptop and not a slow disk drive like my desktop is. But right there, if you keep on running into it, it'll make this noise. Apparently bugs got in there, but if you click the mouse and aim at it, you can zap it even though the mouse feature isn't supported here. All the hint buttons are from the movies. I love the rocks. I mean, they're like maybe one of the only things that look somewhat realistic in this. But the dinosaurs, I think they could have done better on. You could tell they're all from the pictures, from the reference center. Like this Tyrannosaurus Rex picture's from the Tyrannosaurid page in the reference center. No, I think
Mission
after this I
completed.
got some.
Now, mission 3. Go save
I
Triceratops.
think I got one more
Triceratops
dinosaur
was
for the
30 feet
review.
long and weighed 11
Like I said, I
tons.
wanted to show
It was the rhinoceros
thing
of the
going,
dinosaurs and lived
or
around
what would
70
happen at
million
the end,
BC.
which you
Its
guys probably
three-horned
all
head
know.
must have been a fearsome sight to any hungry Tyrannosaurus.
For some reason, I think I posted that. I know Kyle did, but I don't remember if I did or not. I intentionally go the wrong way to make seconds go. Now, the
I'm
Dromaeosaurus is...
a cousin of Velociraptor.
You can also tell
and
that,
just as
for some
mean.
reason, I never got why they were green. Were they supposed to be a part of the the created dinosaur or what? But I just always thought that well, you could tell they're two-dimensional too. Unlike I understand that this is also a 16-bit computer game, but it's just when you go from the park graphics to
just as mean.
we're heading back this way. I don't think I even seen the Triceratops. Before I get distracted again, the point I'm trying to make with the graphics is I don't understand how it can go from the great Zoomscape park graphics and this be a bit shallow. Excuse me. No, we're going into the Jurassic. No, the first 10 dinosaurs in this game, that's a scorpion, by the way. And trust me when I say the bugs will reappear, they'll multiply. But the first 10 dinosaurs in the game specifically tell you what time period they're from. And that's where it gets tricky. But the last 5 you have to guess. I think now I just clicked on dinosaurs and got some wrong input. But the Jurassic had definitely the most dinosaurs. That and the Cretaceous. To be honest, too, I never understood how the timeline worked either. Did they build a cave that could go directly back to the end of the dinosaurs? That was always my big question. Or make the end quick. I think I just kept on running into the Dromaeosaurus. And he just keeps on telling you he's a vicious cousin of Velociraptor.
I'm Dromaeosaurus.
Now we're getting close to impact. We've only saved 2 dinosaurs. Ready? But here's the part I didn't get either. If you were to build a time machine, why would you have it be directly affected by the comet when it hit? Everything just explodes and you get a picture of a nuclear bomb going off. And the narrator will now tell you that, but good thing you rescued about 2
You were
dinosaurs.
able to save at least 2
He
dinosaurs.
said you could do a better job next time when we reset the clock. Here we go.
You made it. But there's
Well, I
not
was
much
wrong.
time.
We started at 2,000
A comet is
seconds.
about to hit the Earth and make
1994
it
seconds.
impossible.
So now it's time to start off the last activity in 3D Dinosaur Adventure. And if you would have clicked this first, you would have gotten an introduction, which I'll show. Because this game has 2 ways to technically end it. Now the globe, the coolest thing about going in the Zoomscape mode of this and with this is that if you get close enough to the globe, which I've posted the entire tour so you can see this, you can go to specific continents, and instead of starting out on the welcome screen in the reference center, you could start wherever you wanted. Like say you wanted to go into Africa, it would take you to an African dinosaur page or prehistoric. However, though, there were some reference pages from Dinosaur Adventure that were missing in this, such as the Woolly Mammoth page, which had the same music as the Allosaurus movie. Moving on, I only did about half of these, and this is, like I said, where the game started glitching up a bit. Oh, it is cool because you can't control it, you can go at your own speed, and I like the music that plays through this a lot. It goes into the main theme from 3D Dinosaur Adventure, which was used in the remake of the game. Here we go, there's the dinosaur that made the icon for the game. You guys all know what I meant when you went to Windows to play this game. It had that icon with the thing with the glasses. Oh, we're heading back out of the Triassic area. There's the Dimetrodons. It's pretty cool though too how you could stop and take a look at them. And I like how the dinosaurs, especially in the grass in this part, use the most effort. And I like the plesiosaurus. I think that's what's supposed to be in the water. I just think that in this game, out of all of them, because of this part right here, had the best graphics, including the 3D Dinosaur Museum. I also think too, after looking at some of this game and some references in Undersea Adventure, that Undersea Adventure was originally supposed to be in 3D too. I'll explain that when we get to the Undersea Adventure review. Now I wanted to show something alternate, that if you went this way, you saw the movie theater different. And like I said, I posted all this, but I figured I'd show this. And I'd also stop right there. Right there, if you can see, it's very pixelated, but it says Dinosaur Adventure 2. Here we are going into the movie theater caves. And I'll even show here, those exit signs don't take you to anywhere. So it comes up and it says Asia. I don't know why. That's where I mean the game starts glitching up here. Here we go, this is what it shows in the movie theater. You can click to go to the movie theater. And watch, now that thing will glitch up when we go to the dinosaur. You know, it's kind of pixelated, but I always thought it was creepy how they had the human dinosaur in there with the human skull. That was just creepy. Now we come out of that cave, and now we go, because in this game you can explore a bit now in this mode, and we're going to go all the way up. And here's also where I think the park from this game influenced the Dinosaur Adventure 3D for Windows. It says go to the movie theater, where in all actuality that doesn't let you do anything. And there we have it.
See you soon.
Exiting 3D Dinosaur Adventure. But we're going right back into it. I cut out the intro for this because I wanted it to go a lot faster. And here you're going to get
Welcome
the
to
narrator's voice
Dinosaur
of what happens
Adventure
when you enter the park first
3D.
thing.
To take your virtual reality tour through the park, click on the doorway. If you want to go directly to an activity,
The main
just
screen of
click
this
on
game
one of
always
the
reminded me
buttons
of the
at the top
security
of the
center. Like,
screen.
look, right there is the start of the park, and then the
Be
next
careful,
thing you know is you're
the
actually
park
in the
is
park.
filled with dinosaurs. Some of them are dangerous.
We're entering through the gates again. Like I said, I think this game has held up to this day. It's got great graphics for a DOS game. I'd say even better than Doom. Right here is the alternate exit. Click on that and it takes you here. Now we're heading back to Microsoft Windows. And now it's time, because I'll let the text do the talking for the you-know-whats.
Welcome to the...
Took me a minute to find where the text was, so bear with me, people. And now it's time for grades. Alright, let's do a quick sum up. This game definitely does have enough entertainment value that can keep a kid playing it for hours and hours on end, like most of the jumpstart games. The game's a lot of fun. It's got cool movies. It teaches you a lot about prehistoric stuff, not just dinosaurs. And the graphics, they just hold up today. Even the opening movie, I think, is still pretty cool with the cheesy 3D graphics. Now, some of the cons about the game is that I think the title is somewhat misleading. Even though the game does have some 3D effects, it's nothing like 3D Body Adventure, where you can find practically everything in the game in 3D. But the graphics, like the dinosaurs in the park, I wonder if that's what it meant too. All the dinosaurs in the park, I think, hold up great to this day for 16-bit 3D graphics. But now let's pretend this is 1994 and this game first came out. First part of the review as always. I'd give this game a 10 out of 10. The graphics are marvelous. Even the cartoon graphics in this game. Next part, same as the Kidzu and 3D Body Adventure review. Yes, I think the Windows installation is easier, because if you have a Windows 95 or a Windows 3.1, which my Windows 3.1 went straight to Windows 3.1 instead of DOS first. All you had to do was put the CD in the CD-ROM drive, and go to My Computer Device Manager and click on the Install EXE, and it would go right to the DOS cell and install it for you. Whereas if you just had a completely DOS computer, like I said, I mean, the installation process I'm gearing this for is a little 5-year-old. I mean, if you don't know your DOS commands, then it is going to be hard for you. So 10 out of 10 for the Windows installation process, 6 out of 10 for installing it through DOS. The music in this game definitely does make it more enjoyable. I mean, I think the music fits perfectly. I mean, the main theme sounds like something prehistoric, and like the Death of the Dinosaurs theme, I think the Killer Whale music is perfect right there. I think the music in the entire game just does it justice. I think it's got one of the best knowledge adventure soundtracks out there, only second to Undersea Adventure. I give it a 10 out of 10 for the music. It's absolutely fabulous. The ease of use in this game, once again, is a 10 out of 10. I think the game is completely easy to use. The only hard part is to save the dinosaurs, but if you learn about the dinosaurs in the reference section, that should definitely help you more in the Save the Dinosaurs activity game. Once again, the sound effects in this game get a 10 out of 10. Now in the remake, they did sound more realistic, but to me, the more nostalgic sound effects came from the original game I played, because I guess mainly because it was the original game. And to be honest, I've just always thought that the DOS version was better than the Windows version, because the Windows version restricted you on some things. So the sound effects definitely for the DOS version still gets a 10 out of 10. Definitely. Yes, you are seeing correctly a 9.5 review rating. Now, definitely, like all the other knowledge adventure games, a lot of research went into this before they created it, and the educational value, I think, did good. It had a lot of educational facts, but not so much where it was boring to kids, which definitely kept them hooked in the reference center, like it did with me when I was a kid. But now in 2010, I'm sure there are some things wrong with it. Like, I know scientists now debate that the Yucatan Peninsula crater isn't the crater that killed the dinosaurs, but I still like to believe a giant comet killed all the dinosaurs. And I'm sure a lot of you people still do, because that's what we were always taught as a kid, that a giant comet from outer space hit the Earth and killed all the dinosaurs. So 1994, it's definitely a 10 out of 10. Today, I'm giving it a 9.5 because I'm pretty sure most of the stuff in this game is still accurate. Replay value, 10 out of 10. I mean, think of it. This game definitely had a lot of activities. You really couldn't get bored with it. You had a lot of cool movies to watch, a lot of great music, a lot of great, like I said, a lot of great activities. Most Zoomscape game out of any of the adventure series, so you could always go exploring. And may I also say that out of all the adventure series games I played, this is the most based Zoomscape game. I mean, you had to use Zoomscape to get the activities unless you clicked the shortcut. So 10 out of 10 for replay value. Once again, I think the graphics have held up, even though the game's approaching 20 years old. I mean, look at the dinosaurs when you're going through the park. They've put a lot of effort into them, and they still hold up till today. You could still be wowed if you were a little kid looking at this game compared to all the Wii games you probably have, like Super Mario Kart today. I mean, look at Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo, which was one of the world's first three-dimensional games, pre-rendered. And then look at 3D Dinosaur Adventure. Donkey Kong Country was the bestseller of 1994. It beat the Sega Genesis out of the market that year. But this game had better graphics, and I don't think it sold as well as that one did. And, I mean, just look at the Zoomscape. The game is heavily based on Zoomscape. You can go up to the dinosaurs when you explore the park on your own, and they just hold up. I mean, the trees mainly are the things that don't hold up. They're like Super Mario 64, and you could tell they're two-dimensional, and same thing with when you go to rescue the dinosaurs and save the dinosaurs, you could tell they're two-dimensional. But other than that, this game gets a 9.5 out of 10 for the graphics in 2012. The overall grade for 3D Dinosaur Adventure. Well, the game is just great. From the intro movie to the point when you click stop, there's a lot of fun in the game. There's a lot of things to be learned. There's some great movies. It even has help center to help you with it. I think this game still in 2012 holds up to what it did back in 1994. It does a great job at teaching kids about dinosaurs. So I give this game now, before I give the overall grade, I want to say it's a great sequel to Dinosaur Adventure. If it would have been Dinosaur Adventure 2, it would have been great. I think the Zoomscape, like I've pointed out, holds up great to 2012. I think the music does a great job with sounding prehistoric, and the sound effects make you feel that you're in an actual 3D dinosaur park. I think the game's legacy has been so huge in the knowledge adventure world that I really do believe the Island 1999 game, Dinosaur Adventure 3D, was based on this island. And if you look at the island in the game, it is easy to see that. So the overall grade for 3D Dinosaur Adventure 1994 MS-DOS version, 9.5 out of 10. The game does what it does. I mean, it's still a great game. Well, IMAX's Speed and Space Adventure are coming up next, and hopefully on Friday Undersea Adventure will be posted. This is Rocky54167 signing out.